I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. We've had a really positive pre-season. The new lads have came in and integrated well with the squad. We've worked really hard out on the training ground. The training's been really enjoyable. It's been a tough pre-season, but a football tough pre-season, which all the lads have bought into right away, and it's looking good. So we're all looking forward to it.
How much have things changed since Mark Orton came in and took over it? Has it been a massive change?
I think there's been changes, obviously, in and around here. It's obviously been well documented that a lot of the older guys had got around and formulated their own code of conduct, which again the manager put on us. So there's been a lot of changes in terms of in and around the training ground, obviously out on the pitch. A lot of the training sort of game specific, geared towards the games on Saturday and the style of play we're going to try and achieve here and keep working hard to bed into the players. So there's been changes, but positive change and changes that were maybe needed for us all.
Are you happier going into this season than maybe you were going into last season if you were to look at it?
It's difficult to say, obviously, because at this point last season we were welcoming back Kenny, Boydie, and a number of other experienced pros. So I think probably at this time last season it's hard to actually gauge it. Obviously, if you can look back, you can say that last season was last season. I don't really want to do too much talking on that. I want to just try and remain positive and look forward. I think that's Mark and Davey's big on that. That we now look forward, we look at what we can achieve and how we can do that and where that can take us. So as much as we can put that comparison in, I just like to think that we're all buzzing for this season. First game Friday night, Ibrox, potential full house. So we're all looking forward to that.
Do you feel fitter than you did 12 months ago?
This time last year? Again, it's difficult to say. We've obviously every manager's got their different methods pre-season. That's obvious. But I think there's maybe just a spring in our step now that we're all involved in this new style of play that, again, the lads have bought into. As I said there, the training's very game specific, very specific to how the manager wants us to play, and it's one that I think with the players we've got is well suited to that. So again, there's a lot of hard work ahead for us out there, but I think at this point in time we're reasonably fit. We're as fit as we could be at this point. So we'll see how that takes us. And as I said, we'll keep working hard and we'll get even fitter.
I suppose Mark's coming in from the Championship in England. It's different philosophy. Every coach has the different ideas. But is this significantly, I suppose, more modern compared to anything that you've experienced before in your career with the various coaches that you've served under, both international and domestic level?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, that's a fair comment. I think that, again, it was well documented, the brand of football that they achieved down there with Brentford. They were well talked about, and it was amazing how far they went in that short space, considering I came up for League One to potential Premiership within that season, and obviously they just fell short in the end. But I think the manager's obviously got a massive knowledge of the game, having not been in it that long, obviously. But no, it's definitely been great. We've all took to that. The style of play, as I said, suits a lot of our players. We do a lot of analysis work up the stair, and as I said, we do a lot of stuff specific to match, specific to games within isolated training stuff. So that's great, and I think it definitely helps. And the fitness, the quality, it'll just gradually get better. I mean, obviously, when we were first in, we were obviously a bit too keen, and that's only natural. Of course, everyone willing to impress, and the fact that a shorter holiday, and the difference between the first stages of the drills that we do to now are night and day. So again, that breeds confidence in us every day, that we are first hand seeing that within training. The manager's forever at us with his messages and how he wants to play within training days. So when it comes to a Saturday, it's just ready to go, game time, and we go and impose our style, impose our intensity and tempo in the game. And that's again what we'll be looking to try and do on Friday and continue to do that.
Looks like you've been appointed captain from what we've seen so far. How much of an honour is that for you?
I don't think it's obviously nothing's confirmed yet, but it's obviously been an honour in the short period that I've done that, for the pre-season games to the opening games we've had here. So no, it's until anything's properly or concrete, with that, then again I can't really comment on that. But again, happy and honoured as I was when I would step in for Jig in seasons going by.
Have you had discussions with Mark about perhaps taking on that role full time?
Not in terms of the captaincy. We'll obviously have discussions as the manager would with a lot of individual players, very active on that front. But again, nothing with the captaincy. So until that's properly set in stone, then I'll wait and see.
But it's something you would like to take on full time?
Absolutely, it was when I stood in for Jig last season. Obviously, it was in the season before it was a major honour. It's no very often that you can say that you've captained the club, albeit that we did go to where we went in terms of the lower divisions. I just look back at the captains that I've played with. Obviously, Davy, who unfortunately only got to play one game when he had to come off on my debut. The only other time I played with Davy, I actually had to come off, so it's not been too great playing with each other. But obviously Davy, and again, he epitomises what a Rangers player is, so if ever that did come about with the captaincy, there's no better guy to lean on in terms of advice, working with players, being in and around the dressing room. You've obviously got Jig for last season, who was tremendous, great for the dressing room, led by example. Stephen Davis, who would lead more on in terms of the way he conducted himself, the fact that his training levels were tremendous and he was so consistent in games. And you obviously had Carlos Bocanegra with a wealthy international experience. So again, these are all guys I look back to, and I think that if it came about that I was to be appointed captain, if I could provide half of what these guys have done for the club, then great.
I suppose it would be a real honour in the sense that the guys in the squad, Danny, Kenny, John Eustace, besides those guys there with sort of captaincy sort of material about them. So if you get it for yourself, that says a lot about yourself. There's a number of candidates through there that again the manager and Davey will definitely been talking about. The guys you mentioned there, Kenny Miller, Danny, John, even Big Maris, to be fair, he's been captain at Hearts. So there's guys that have got probably more captaincy experience than myself. But again, we'll just need to wait and see, and I'm sure that'll be something that they're both dwelling on just now. In terms of the team, the way they're playing this season, it seems like there's threat from all over the park. You're not shy to get forward. James on the other side of the park's already got 2 goals and really impressing. It's 2 games. I mean, is there a feel that the team is as dangerous as it's ever been since your time?
Yeah, I felt that early on, even going back to the first game with Tottenham in the closed doors game, you got that feel right away, and it was obviously largely different to anything I'm used to here. But that's only a positive thing, and I'm only use that in a positive way, and it's great that if we can do that, if individuals can bring their threat to the team, then from different areas, then we're going to be a force. So that's exactly that fits in with the manager's style and how he wants us to play. That it isn't just one area of the pitch or one position that's to be the threat, but it's coming from a number of areas, as you said. So again, if we continue to work hard, keep getting used to the style of play, which again will require patience. Obviously, we've started okay, but there's a lot of hard work ahead, and with the threat coming for all angles, then we will be a threat.
How important is it? I mean, there's been a lot of sort of encouraging things said and written about the team so far, but it's only 2 games in. Is it important not to get carried away at this point?
Yep, I don't think we can afford to do that. I'll keep stressing, and the manager will keep stressing that there is a lot of hard work to come for us, and there's a lot more quality for us. I mean, you take the Hibs game, obviously, we started off relatively poor by our standards. The manager put it to us at half time how we felt, and again we weren't shy in expressing that we had to do a lot better. Second half we did get better, but again there was another level on us, and we know that first half Peterhead probably could have done with moving the ball a bit quicker, but we knew that, and obviously 1-0 till late on in the game, until we found our rhythm. They probably tried to press us at that point, gave us the space, and that's when the game came fairly open, and we were ready and we were fit and we were strong. So I think it's all about imposing our style and our tempo. That's the manager's huge on that. So that's the mindset that we need to get into here, and it's well drilled into us at the training ground. So come match day, it's the Rangers way, and it's our tempo, it's our intensity, and we'll impose ourselves and our strengths towards the opposition. So again, it's something we'll look to try and do. As you say, there's only been 2 games, there's a long way to go, and we'll continue that come Friday night.
Just to go back to what you were saying earlier about training, the style of training, the analysis you do, you mentioned the code of conduct the senior players put in as well. Is there more of a professional air around the place this season than before?
At the greatest, it's always been professional. It has always been professional, but different managers will have different ways of doing things. Obviously, this time around, it probably has went up, and it's great because it doesn't have to make you appreciate the environment you're working in. it can be taken for granted at times that you're coming into a superb training facility with great food, great pitches, great staff, and you maybe do take that for granted at times. So it's just a wee reminder that you have got this, so appreciate it. And when you take to the training field, you train and you be the best you can be. So as individuals, if we follow that mindset, as a consequence, the team will do well on a Saturday or any match day for that matter. So again, it's been good. It's been really refreshing. Every player's bought into it. Every player's willing to do their best and be the best Rangers player they can be. And as I said, that can only stand us in good stead for the season ahead.
Having been here for a while, do you feel like the squad needed the kick Mark Warburton's perhaps given them?
Yeah, and obviously there's fresh faces in as well. A huge disappointment last year, a disaster last year. But again, I didn't want to keep going back to that. I'm going to try and get a more positive mindset myself, heavily critical of myself, and obviously the times we experienced last year. So maybe try to put a more positive spin on it now. So manager and Davey have came in and done great with us so far. And as I said, it's only 2 games. And again, it's just about setting our level and sending the message out that we are different this year. And we're enjoying things, and it's great that. I think there was a period late on in the game where we were creating chance after chance, and the crowd made the loudest noise I've heard for a long time, and I don't think they quite appreciate the effect that had, because I got goosebumps myself, and having spoke to a couple of other players at that point, it was tremendous. So I think the knock-on effect to us doing well works with the fans and vice versa, obviously, and I can't speak enough about how well the fans have done over these years. So I think now if we can give them a positive return, send them home happy after every game, every time they come and watch us, send them home with a win, send them home talking about how we played, then I think we're onto one.
You talk about the code of conduct. Do you want to give us an insight into what that is about?
Well, it was just obviously the manager wants to put things back to us. We police the dressing room, the older lads, we police the training ground, and it's our own working environment. So he put that to us, the players, to take responsibility, get together, and just come up with rules and regulations that are within being a Rangers player and how you conduct yourself around the place. So again, we've had it in the past, obviously, but again, it was just reinforcing the mindset in and around the training ground. So that's obviously to be signed, sealed, and for here on in we'll be as professional as we can be.
What sort of rules are they?
Just everything you can imagine. For the small stuff to the match day stuff, the training stuff, match day stuff, timekeeping, leaving training equipment on the ground, on the outside, just being a professional. I mean, if the funds will obviously go towards a charity, but I mean, at the same time, you're wanting to reduce that funds just by being a professional day in, day out, and again, being the best you can be. The manager's big on that. The best you can be on the training pitch, the best you can be in and around Murray Park, and if you get that right, then you're going to be the best you can be on a Saturday, or again, as a match day. So it all ties in with that. So it was good that we all done that, well rounded up. We've got a good response for the players. So that's set now. So again, it's easy. Just be as professional as you can be.
Has there been a nominated charity for it?
Not yet, but we'll sort that.